Please put your hands together with a nice warm welcome for Dr. Shirley Davis. Yeah.
So I can wave a ship, and I'm grateful because I'm living beyond what if. I love it. I'm living beyond my what if. That actual is a song that was written and produced specifically as a theme song following my book. I'm so thrilled to be here. I am so excited because I know that NSA has so many killers. Oh, let me say that differently. The National Speakers Association has so many people that are killing it on the stage, and I'm so thrilled to see so many of you here. How many of you know some of them? How many of you say, I am that person, I'm killing it on the stage? You know what, I want to dedicate it to you. I want to dedicate it to the more than 70 CSPs, CPAEs, and $1 Million Speaker Group peer friends of mine that shared with me some of the tips that you use to really kill it on stage. I want to dedicate it to the nearly 50% of you who are new here and so many of you that are new to the speaking business and new to NSA. I dedicate this speech to you. And I want to dedicate this speech to the Internal Revenue Service. How many of y'all are just waiting for the Internal Revenue Service to call you and say, we're about to audit your business? I can't see any hands. How many of you would know what to do? You would know what to say, and more importantly, you would know what not to say. Show of hands. How many of you would come through that audit with flying colors owing the IRS nothing? Okay, we got a few hands. And how many of you, if you're honest, would say, it might shut my business down if all the fees and the penalties because of the errors that were made in my business were assessed? How many of you say it might shut me down? A few years ago, I was out killing it, delivering over 80 speeches a year, closing six-figure contracts, building all kinds of partnerships, and bringing in new ideas from all over the world, working with leaders and organizations. And I got this dreaded letter in the mail that says, we are going to be auditing your business. Now, I had doubled revenues the previous year. We had tripled in our donations that year, and we were celebrating one of the best years on record in our business. And to get this dreaded letter from the IRS, you can imagine how it made me feel. It cut me to my core. I'm telling you, it just scared the heebie-jeebies out of me. And for the next 9 months, the IRS was in every aspect of my business, including home office visits. One of the things that it taught me was that we had to do a lot of work in putting some things in place. We had a lot of things in place, but we had some things that were in the wrong place. We had some people that needed to have been replaced. And then we had some systems and some structures that were not in place at all. And so it allowed us to go in and revamp our entire back office operations. So not only was I killing it on a stage, but I realized that I had some opportunities to really put my business operations in place so that it could thrive long term. One of the things I want to talk to you today about is how do you kill the keynote, but let's make sure that when we kill in the keynote that our business isn't dying. So I'm going to share some of the tips and strategies that many of you shared with me, and then we're going to talk through in this session. I want you to walk away by the end of this session. I'm going to share, obviously, some of those tips, but I want to give you more than 10 ways that you can monetize some aspects of your operations, and so you can turn them into 6- and 7-figure businesses. And then 2, I'm going to give you more than 16 tools and resources for how you can streamline your back office operations, but also how you can optimize time, save money, save energy, and certainly how you can increase profitability. So let's talk a little bit about this killing the keynote. How many of you said you killed the keynote? We got people in here, you killed the keynote. What are some of the things you do when you're killing it on stage? Interaction, excellent. What else? Laughter, humor, yes. What else? Giving away free stuff. Great. What else? Customization. Raise their energy in the room. Relatability, stories. Excellent. You're hitting on something. Because that's what a lot of our CPAEs, our CSPs, and our $1 Million Speaker Group peers are saying the same thing. You arrive early, right? You arrive early, you meet the client, and you have an opportunity to even interact with the attendees. All getting that intel so that you can use that as a part of your presentation. Real time, just-in-time presentation. You conducted due diligence. You've done it on the client, but you've also done it on some of the audience members. And you customize the presentation, don't you, Crystal? You open with stories and strategies, with jokes or humor, as someone said. Maybe even statistics and a scenario, or even a memorable quote. You had a great tech check, and it showed. No issues with sound, no issues with the videos, no issues with the clickers, or even with any of the technology that you were using. You also offer practical solutions for immediate application, and you provided resources. You were high energy, you were engaging, you were interactive, you kept the attention throughout, even if it wasn't on stage, but it was on your virtual stage. And your presentation was inclusive, it was relevant, it was relatable. You ended it in the time that you were given. And you got a standing ovation and applause. But also, your client was satisfied. That's how you kill the keynote. And there's more, but these are some of the key tips that many of our colleagues, our friends, are doing every day to kill the keynote. But the question is when the applause is gone and the audience attendees have left, and now the lights and the cameras are gone down, and you're on your way home. The keynote is over. Now what? Was it a one and done? Or did you leave a lot of tomatoes on the table? Did you leave thousands of tomatoes behind? You know what you can do with tomatoes? There's all kinds of things you can do with tomatoes. Tomato bisque, tomato soup, fried green tomatoes, tomatoes in your salad, tomatoes on your hamburgers. Don't leave any tomatoes on the table. And so it doesn't just start with killing it on the keynote, on the stage. It starts with the intake pitch. It starts with the conversation that you have when you first got the outreach from the client. What are some of the things that you're doing to sell yourself, not only to deliver the keynote, but in looking at a long-term opportunity to partner with that client to serve their needs? Some of the things that I do is all the things that we just shared. When they're able to pay my full fee, even most of it, these are some of the things that I'm offering. All the things that we just shared, the 10 things that we all say we do. I also offer executive VIP sessions. I also offer 1-minute promo videos to help them with their marketing so that they can use that to generate more registrations. I promote their conference or their event on my social media platforms. And I also write articles for their publications if they have one, or if they have a conference brochure, or even on their website. I also ask them for a referral to their procurement office so that I can get a long-term opportunity with them. I talk to them about their master service agreement process. I follow up with a 1-hour follow-up webinar after the keynote is over. I offer to do that for 1 hour. I do an Ask the Speaker sessions. I say, hey, I can do this after my keynote. I'm happy to do an Ask the Speaker session in that same day. I provide a pre-keynote resource. It might be an article. It might be a link to a video. It may be a chapter from my book, or whatever the topic is, it's going to do something to help set them up. I may ask for a swag bag insert if they have swag bags. I also ask for a client testimonial. In addition to that, client referral. Who else can you refer me? And also introduction to their human resources and their training and development group. Because of the work that I do as a global workforce expert, I want to meet with those who I know are those decision makers, the chief HR officer, the head of learning, talent, and development. And there's other things that I offer to those who cannot pay my full fee. And for me, I'm a day rate kind of person. I'm going to be with you all day, and so I get to engage. What are some of the things that these will do beyond the keynote? What do you see? Much more than a speaker. Relationship, yes. And what else? Entanglements. And what was that you said back there? Resource. Yes, resource. I'm setting myself up as a resource beyond just the keynote. I'm wanting to be a partner with them. I want to build a long-term relationship with them. And so it allows me to be able to sell and to build a lot of my revenue streams. So I have a number of them. In addition to the keynote, it's just not enough to just have the keynote. Because look, I was one doing 80 to 100 keynotes a year and was killing myself. Now, I know everybody's not Ross Bernstein. Ross loves it. That's his thing. I get it. But doing that many a year is a lot of wear and tear on your body. And so in addition to the keynote, we have multiple streams of revenue. And for those of you who are new in here, this will be very helpful. I was talking to some of you at breakfast and then at the reception last night and said, hey, you said you were just learning, hadn't even started speaking, you got some great ideas, you got some great expertise and experience, and so you're here to learn what are some of the other things that you can do. Here they are. Not only the keynote, but you can also license. Not only your keynote, but you can license other training programs. I license my keynote. I allow my clients to have it for up to a year. I do on-demand courses. I do workshops. I do learning paths, which are helping the leaders or helping the staff that go through our training programs. I put them on specific paths. Those that might be for emerging leaders, those that might be for advanced leaders, those that might be for brand new workers, those that they're developing in their pipeline to be executives. I'll even do some for board members. So these are learning paths that we've customized to provide to our clients. Yes, coaching programs as well as merchandise. We do have a lot of merchandise, pins and backpacks and luggage tags and coffee mugs and all of those things. We also offer, yes, webinars, different topics, different titles, different lengths of time. We obviously have books, and yes, I do a number of LinkedIn learning courses. I'm writing my 9th one now. I know that several of you have also written a number of LinkedIn learning courses. But also, here's more. We apply for a number of RFPs, requests for proposals, whether it's for government agencies, state, local, and federal, as well as global organizations, NGOs, or non-governmental organizations. We do long-term contracts, and we certainly try to do these with our clients. We offer brain dates and consults. We offer e-learning bundles. So not just one e-learning, but isn't it almost better to buy 3 or 4 instead of 1 because you'll get a discount? We do client customization for additional charges. So for example, if we're doing an e-learning, a lot of times our clients will want to have us tailor it to their values, to their vision and their mission statements, to some of the work that they're doing. Sometimes the CEO wants to record a 2 or 3 minute video up front to include it as a part of ours. So we customize it for our clients. So it feels like theirs, and they can then host it on their learning management systems, or we have it on ours. We use both Thinkific as well as Kajabi. Membership and subscription offerings that we have with some of our clients, and we're getting ready to now do a public membership site. We do train-the-trainers, and we do certifications for internal staff who want to license our materials, but we want to train them so that it maintains the consistency and the integrity of the content that we developed. We do staff and colleague referral programs. Colleagues with you. Some of you have referred me to your clients because it was an area of expertise that you didn't have, or you didn't have the capacity, and you referred it to us. Thank you, Jess. Jess is very, very good about that. Lenore is very good about that. Customized toolkits. So when we finish doing a full-blown audit or an assessment on an organization, and we give them the recommendations, we provide an implementation plan, but we also provide for them customized toolkits for how they can implement. Strategic planning. We do all of those, and we also have partnerships and alliances. So there's so much more on the table beyond just the stage. How many of you would say I'm doing mostly all of those? No, it takes a village. It takes a phenomenal team. It takes time. And look, this has to be what you want to do. For us, we are a full-service global workforce consulting firm. We specialize in cultural transformation. We specialize in leadership excellence in all things human resources. That was my 30 years in corporate America. And so we have a team of people who helps us to do that. But we also partner with other groups, for example, other consulting firms or boutique firms who don't do full-blown, full-service comprehensive assessments like we do. They partner with us. And we do the same thing for some areas that we don't specialize in. There are certain assessments I don't do. I'll reach out to some of my colleagues, and we build partnerships and alliances, and we do a revenue share. These are ways that you can build a thriving and sustainable business. But you can't do that if you don't have the right resources in place. And so for me, what we have found out over these last 10 years or so is that there are 16 resources that for us has helped us to now build this well-oiled machine. The IRS audit did us a major favor. It became one of the biggest blessings to our business because it helped us to focus on the things that we took for granted, the things that were our blind spots, and areas where we just did not have the expertise. We found it. And so this allowed us to put all of these things in place. Some of them were there, as I said, others were not. But I submit to you, you cannot be as successful. Your business cannot thrive with you alone doing everything. Can't do it. Who's doing it all? Got a few of you admitting, yeah, you're doing it all. And it's not sustainable. You'll drop the ball, or you won't be as dynamic as you can be. And you'll be caught up in the minutia. I did that the first couple of years of my business and realized that I could not do it if I wanted to grow and sustain. So these are some of the things that we had to put in place, things that we needed, resources that we relied on to help us really build a thriving business. I'm really grateful that I've learned how to ask for help. I'm grateful that I've learned how to delegate, and I'm grateful that I have let go of some of the control. And we have to do that because we believe nobody else can do it as excellent as we can, but I have been grateful to have people who could do it just good enough. Doesn't have to be like me, but it gets done. I'm going to talk a lot more about these. We'll take a deeper dive in the session this afternoon. I'm going to be doing a session specifically on talking about these key resources, how we can use them, what are some of the things that we're using, and then I'm going to talk a bit about the revenue streams as well. I believe that everyone, if you want to build a thriving business, everybody needs a Teresa. Everybody needs a Teresa. Who is Teresa? Teresa, to me, is my backbone in the business. I know Crystal has a Regina, right? She talks about her all the time. I love, love, love that. But we have to have people in our organizations that are trustworthy, ethical, they're honest, they're reliable, they're dependable, they are passionate about what they do. They're not trying to compete with all the things you're doing. They're not trying to take your business. They're not trying to steal all your secrets. They're not trying to then go away and do their own thing. But Teresa is my backbone, and I've had her now going on 6 years. Teresa is one that is gifted, she's talented, but she doesn't want to be on the stage. She doesn't want to speak in front of people. She wants to be that back office that really drives things. And I have been able to help her help me because there's a lot of things that she was doing, and she's like, I can do this, but I don't have the time to do all of these things. And so what she is responsible for is bringing in the additional resources that we need to help streamline our back office operations. So Teresa helps drive all of these, right? So we've got a phenomenal team. I've got 10 other senior consultants around the world. They're in different regions because we serve global organizations. She oversees that. She is managing their schedules. She is making sure that they are working with the clients on various projects. She's making sure that they're getting paid, making sure all the paperwork and all of that is processed and done. This is another streamlined back office operation that we got to have buttoned up. When the IRS came in, the bookkeeping and the QuickBooks was key and critical. What we weren't doing, and I'll share this afternoon, one of the things that we weren't doing, for example, was we were not reconciling our bank statements every single month and accounting for every dime. So we had to have a bookkeeper come in and catch us up, and now we've been doing that for the last couple of years. But also, she oversees all the contracting, responding to RFPs, even looking at them. Some of them are 60, 70, 80, and 100 pages long, and she goes through those. and decides whether it's a fit, whether it's something that we should go after. She helps to write them. But also website maintenance. These are things that we need behind the scenes to have a well-oiled machine so that those of us who are CEOs in our own businesses can do this and do it without feeling like you've got so much of the weight of the world on you, but you have somebody like a Teresa in your back office. Website maintenance, we got 3 or 4 websites, so she's managing all of those with the webmaster that we have. Drop shopping services for our merchandise, so we don't want to send all of those things out. We have a company that does that. We have our learning management system, our on-demand and digital content. She oversees that. She works with the producers. She works with the studios to make sure all of those things are produced. She works with clients when we got to customize them and make sure that they get what they need. If they want to have it SCORM compliant, she has the resources to be able to do that. Social media and our digital footprint. These are things that we have to have in place if we're going to be a thriving business. Additionally, customer relationship management, right? What is your CRM? Whether it's, Constant Contact or MailChimp or whatever some of those are, she's managing and leading those, but we got to have those in our business. Live streaming. We do a lot of live, whether it is Restream or Ustream. We're on LinkedIn Live. We do a lot of those kinds of things, even for our clients as well. So managing those particular platforms, payment structures. Wow, there's so many of them now, right? Venmo and PayPal and Cash App and Zelle. And people don't want to pay cash anymore. They want to have a cashless exchange of our products and services. So we've got to have multiple ways that people can engage and pay. We, too, are leveraging artificial intelligence and integrating it into our business. I'm a big fan of ChatGPT, so I appreciate all of the technical sessions that we've had. Thank you, Robert, and thank you, all of you, Terry, Brock, and the last session, for all of those great new tips and tools for how I can now go to another level. We're also using artificial intelligence in our business, we're doing it with bots. And we've created workplace scenarios, and now our leaders actually have an opportunity to do coaching and giving feedback and building their teams and going through change management using bots as their employees that they do simulations with. So there's multiple ways to use those. Obviously, project management tools, workspace and collaboration tools, whether you're using Google Workspace or whether you're using Microsoft 365 or Slack or Dropbox, you need to be using something so that you can interact and interface with your teams. We even need it for our clients, because when we are downloading their documents and strategies and policies and procedures, and they're sending us very confidential information, guess what they're asking you is what collaboration tools are you using, and making sure that they are secure and that they're going to protect their confidentiality. So we have to have the right workplace tools in place. All of these are key and critical, and they are also available to you. If you want to download this list that I just gave you, you're going to need these for this afternoon. We have a list of the 16 key resources. We also have a list for you of all of the revenue streams. You can download these, and we're going to use these this afternoon. They're also in PDF form, so you can literally write notes in them, and they're in PDF but fillable. So make sure you get a copy of these. Now, I believe, too, that we killed the Keynote, but let us not kill ourselves in the process. 10 years ago, I jumped and I grew my wings on the way down. I left corporate America after a 30-year run. Global business executive, reporting into the CEO, working in Fortune 10, Fortune 50 companies. But it came a time where I felt like it was time for me to reinvent myself. So I moved to Florida. I launched my global consulting business, and I found my happy place here. It's so important because as I went through that IRS audit, thank you, my happy place happens to be right by the water. Anything that's flowing, I love, love, love it, like the water. And so I moved to Tampa Bay. And it was there that I began to reinvent myself as well, and we launched the business in 2015. Now, the IRS audit taught me a lot about the things to do, the things that I need to do better, but the things that I need to put in place in order to thrive, to build a business that will not only thrive today, but a business that will thrive for years to come. I believe that all of us, if we want to thrive as a speaker, if we want to thrive as a CEO of our own global speaking businesses, that in a world where we are still dealing with accelerated change, overwhelming complexity, and increased competition, in a world where we're still dealing with heightened sensitivities and higher levels of stress than ever before, and certainly as we're dealing with unexpected, unprecedented, unwelcome disruptions in our businesses and in our lives, this is where we really have to take care of ourselves. Our physical health, our mental health, and our emotional health. It matters. It matters because we've got to ensure that we are our best selves every time we show up. We don't come with the glass half empty. I don't even come with the glass half full. I truly believe that we should come with the cup overflowing. But we should be overflowing with joy, overflowing with peace, overflowing with fulfillment, and overflowing with gratitude. It is then, when we do that, when we take care of ourselves, that we can be our most authentic self, our most impactful self, and we can certainly be our most powerful self, not only for us, but for those that we are serving. I believe that it is then that we too can, again, make sure that we are providing the best part of who we are so that we can help them become the best part of what they need. The world needs unity. The world needs love. The world needs graciousness and kindness. And I think the more that we take care of ourselves, we can be a part of that. We have to make sure that we are uplifting humanity with the words that we use, and that we have to give back to our communities and make sure that everything that we do, that every place that we go, every person that we touch, and every client that we serve, that we leave them better than the way that we found them. My happy place is certainly living beyond what if. I love to see the sunsets. I love to be at the water, and I get my best ideas and my best thinking there. But I ask you today to make sure that as you're killing the keynote, don't let it kill you. Don't let it kill your business, but do the things that you need to do to help all of us be better at what we do. Thank you so much. Let's stay connected and let's thrive together. I'll see you in this afternoon session. Thank you.